Why I say, Buc Nation, it's your rude boy Juan Agadello, and thanks for tuning in to Tuff Bucs. Now that training camp and preseason are all sails ahead, let's talk about some of the standouts from this past week's practice and against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go! The big question going into the 2019 season: can Bruce Arians take Jameis Winston's talent to the next level, just like he did with prior quarterbacks? From what I've seen so far, I think so. Perceptually, Winston had a rough start to training camp, throwing picks like I do when I'm playing Madden. But that's to be expected when you're learning a new system. However, if the Bucs are to be successful this year, Winston desperately needs to make better decisions and cut down on those INTs. In 56 games, he's thrown 58 interceptions. That's his average. But as training camp moves on, you can tell from the clips that I'm finding off the net that he's getting comfortable with his new coach, BA. Mr. Fashion himself, cornerback Vernon Hargreaves, has had a solid camp himself. He's been getting his hands on multiple picks in the first 2 weeks, which is a great sign. Leading into this season, Hargreaves has had an up and down career, struggling on the field and with injuries. Something that I'm, if you know me, am used to. Oh God. Last season, Hargreaves had a strong preseason, a very good game in week 1 against the Saints. But unfortunately, it was his last game because he suffered a season-ending shoulder injury. With all that history, the Bucs still see value in Vernon, which is why the team picked up his 5th-year option. I'm expecting a breakout season from Vernon this year. Hopefully, he can stay healthy and do so. Now, here's a question for y'all, Buc Nation. Where in the world has Noah Spence been? Anyone? Anyone? No one knows! For the past 2 years, the Tampa Bay media has gone goo-goo gaga over Spence, especially during preseason. But when it comes to regular season games, he's nowhere to be found, and he's not getting involved like people thought he would. Going into the new season, Spence is definitely benefiting from the new coaching staff and new system, which ultimately fits his skill set. Being a 2nd-round draft pick, Buc Nation is expecting more from my boy Spence, especially while Jason Pierre-Paul is out with a neck injury. I hope he's not a bust. Oh God, is he a bust? Is he a bust? I hope he's not a bust. Don't be a bust! One of the biggest standouts for me so far is an unconventional one, but I do want to shed some light on him. And that's my boy Vita Vea, aka Maui from Moana. Like last season, Vea is going to be missing the first few weeks, this time for an LCL sprain to his knee. But luckily, it's nothing too serious, and we're hoping for a speedy recovery for my boy. Vea, get well soon. And those are my standouts from training camp. Now let's switch sails and talk about the first preseason game against the Steelers. Now I'm only focusing on starters. Winston in the first team offense had an almost perfect opening drive where he went 5 for 6 with 40 yards and connecting on a dump pass to Chris Godwin for a touchdown. His one incompletion was an overthrown deep ball to Brashard Perryman, and I'm hoping in the future Winston can connect on that more often than not. But my favorite play of the night from Jameis was a 10-yard scramble where he spin moved his way out of pressure, and I just love his ability to avoid pressure and extend plays. That's where he's most dangerous. With all that said, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Winston so far under my boy, quarterback whisperer, BA. As for the first team defense, they had a pretty good game. Carl Nassib and Deion Buchanan both had sacks, and the D-line were able to put some pressure on the quarterback. Vernon Hargreaves had a nice interception in the first quarter, but it was negated by a roughing the passer penalty from Noah Spence. Another negative would be that they gave up a few too many explosive plays, so the jury is still out on the defense. And that's only because it's such a small sample size and because of injuries, and it's also the first game of the preseason, so let's cut them some slack. It's a promising start, and only time will tell if the defense has improved. All things considered, the Bucs had a good outing. The thing that hurt them the most were the penalties. If they can reduce that, then they'll be in good shape. And those are my standouts from the preseason thus far. Let me know who your standouts are or what you thought of the Bucs game against the Steelers by leaving a comment below. Hit the like and hit the subscribe button. So until next time, Buc Nation, keep firing them cannons.